Well, now to a show of force from the U.S. military meant to send a clear message to Iran. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has deployed this nuclear-powered submarine armed with cruise missiles to the Middle East. He's also ordered a carrier strike group to speed its arrival to the region, saying that the U.S. is committed to taking every possible step to defend Israel. Well, the White House says the U.S. shared Israel's concerns that a significant attack by Iran or its proxies is increasingly likely, and it could happen within days. National Security spokesman John Kirby says that could jeopardize Gaza's ceasefire talks, which is set to resume Thursday. But he's still calling on all parties to show up. The U.S. and its allies are trying to diffuse regional tensions by mediating an end to the Gaza war. Hamas has indicated that it may not attend the next round of talks, saying mediators should compel Israel to accept a U.S.-backed ceasefire proposal that is already on the table. Let's get more now from Jeremy Diamond in Haifa, northern Israel, and our Ben WEDEMAN, who joins us from Beirut, Lebanon. Good to have you both with us. I want to start with you first, Jeremy, because it's interesting that the Pentagon confirmed that it was sending this guided nuclear submarine. And the big question is, why publicize it? Because that is unusual. What sort of message is the U.S. sending here?
Yeah, Linda, it is an extraordinarily rare step for the U.S. military to confirm where a nuclear submarine is actually positioned. And they're doing so for one key reason, and that is to try and send a message of deterrence to Iran, making clear that the United States will stand behind Israel in the event of an Iranian attack against Israeli soil, and also effectively indicating that it is prepared to help us defend U.S. troops in the region and to support any potential Israeli response to those attacks. We know that this is obviously just the latest indication of the U.S. sending weapons and material to the region. Defense Secretary Austin also accelerated the movement of a carrier strike group to the region as well. We know that U.S. troops, U.S. Marines are already in the Mediterranean prepared to assist with a non-combatant evacuation of civilians from Lebanon as well. So clearly all signs are pointing to very heightened readiness, not only from the United States, but also from the Israeli military, which tonight we heard from the Israeli military spokesman, Daniel Hagari, who said that there are no changes yet to instructions to civilians, but that the military itself is very much at a heightened state of alert, as we are now getting reports indicating that U.S. and Israeli intelligence believe that this Iranian attack, perhaps in coordination with its proxies like Hezbollah, could come effectively in a matter of days, perhaps even hours. And so this is a very tense moment in the region, and one that could, of course, potentially derail plans for ceasefire negotiations later this week.
Yeah, and I want to ask you what exactly it could mean for those ceasefire talks, because the bloodshed in Gaza continues. We know 93 people were killed over the weekend after Israel, an Israeli strike on a school and a mosque in Gaza. What are the expectations for Thursday when those ceasefire talks are set to resume?
Well, you know, last week, Linda, there was a lot of pressure building up towards a diplomatic path, the potential even for some kind of a diplomatic off-ramp, as even Iran indicated that movement towards a ceasefire, or certainly a ceasefire itself, could potentially change its calculus in terms of retaliating against Israel for the assassination of Hamas's political leader while he was in the Iranian capital. And all of that hope and optimism is very quickly vanishing this week, in particular because Hamas, first of all, yesterday indicated that it was unlikely to attend these talks, casting doubt certainly on its participation following that Israeli strike in Gaza on Saturday that killed more than 90 Palestinians, according to local officials, but also because we are now seeing this movement from Iran and from Hezbollah, according to U.S. and Israeli intelligence, indicating that they are preparing to carry out some kind of an attack, likely before those talks even kick off on Thursday. And so all of this hope is now dissipating, not only with that statement from Hamas following that Israeli strike this weekend, but also as it appears that we are headed for more escalation in this region rather than the de-escalation that was hoped could be achieved through those talks on Thursday.
Thanks to you, Jeremy. And Ben, to you on that, the fear of how this might escalate. We know the Israeli defense minister has warned the U.S. that it is preparing for a large-scale attack from Iran, but Iran has said that any retaliation would not impact those ceasefire talks for Gaza. So how, at this point in time, do you think things may play out?
Well, I think the message from Iran and Hezbollah has been clear since those dual assassinations took place about 14 days ago, is that they don't want war, but they feel obliged that they have to reply. So, for instance, the Iran's UN mission in New York put out a statement saying that Iran has the legitimate right of self-defense, and that it will not be, that response will not be tied to the Gaza ceasefire. But it added that we hope that our response will be timed and conducted in a manner not to be detrimental to a potential ceasefire. So clearly both Iran and Hezbollah are not eager to engage in a full-scale war with Israel. They don't have the capacity to do so. But we spoke with a diplomat recently who said that the problem, certainly with both sides, is that they've sort of talked themselves into a corner, saying that they must respond, and the reputation, the legitimacy of the so-called axis of resistance, of which Iran is the leader and Hezbollah is the senior partner, that's on the line. If they don't in some way respond, then they will be seen as weak and ineffectual. So they're in a bind, but they don't want to sort of bring down upon them the kind of Israeli retaliation that Israel is capable of doing, given its vast superiority in terms of weaponry. Linda?
All right, Ben Wiedemann, we no doubt will talk again soon. Ben Wiedemann and our Jeremy Diamond, good to have you both with us. Thank you. Well, still to come tonight, a race transformed. The Harris Waltz ticket gets a key boost in swing states.